Hello everyone, my name is Evaldas Remeikis. I am chairman of the board of fintech company Neo Finance, and I am also the founder of the company. Today I'll present some facts and forecast about Neo Finance. So we are leading P2P consumer lending platform in Lithuania, and actually we hold electronic money institution license. Let's go to the presentation. About our business, what we do, we connect borrowers with lenders. So we are in the middle, just finding borrowers for investors and investors for borrowers, and we are intermediate. So actually lenders invest their spare money straight to the borrowers. So our business model, it's actually different from Latvian companies like Mintos and others, because our investors are lending the money straight to the end user, to the borrower, not to some other company like in Mintos and other platforms. So the value proposition for investors is to earn high returns, as it's shown in this slide. It's possible to get annual return about starting from 12 to 18% annually. It's very simple and easy way to invest money, and it's a social aspect as an opportunity to help to people, as for example about 60% of our loans goes for refinancing other credits taken by borrowers. And for borrowers, it's the value proposition is low interest rates comparing to the other lenders, and they can get the credits very fast and in the most convenient way. As for example, we have fully automated process for getting credit. After registering, it's actually now our employees involved in the process of getting the credit. So the main important issue for the fast-growing fintech company we know is a team, and we have about 29 professional team members, and our corporate governance is a two-tier system, as we have supervisory board and board of directors and management team. It's different like in Latvia, because board of directors actually are not team members. They are not involved in daily business. And management team, yes, they are doing everyday work. And it's worth to mention that some people from banking industry joined me at once as the business was established. So maybe you know Antanas Danys. He is a former chair of the board of Lithuanian Swedbank, and his colleague Vytautas Bučiūnas, he was the head of corporate division in Swedbank and chair vice president. And also I want to mention Marius Navickas, who was the head of risk, and actually in our business where risk assessment is very important for our daily business. And other team members also have great experience in consumer credit market. So I want to tell you and show that actually there is still very good opportunity to and quite a high return when investing into consumer loans in Lithuania. And I should mention that the borrowers are actually now from Lithuania only, and investors can be anywhere from whole Europe. So every body of you can become an investor just registering on our system and have the opportunity to earn great return depending on the risk. Actually, it's quite easy to calculate. With expected return is actually, if we look at equation, it's only one figure which is unknown. It's default rate. Of course, we calculate default rates, and in that example is expected default rate seen in the first column. It depends on the credit risk, and the return expected also depends on the credit risk. So as you see, it's still possible to earn about 14% of internal rate of return. And we're just not telling it to others. Actually, our team are investing ourselves, and we together have almost 1 million euro of portfolio, and it's actual return at the moment of our team members. The main asset of our business is our IT system, which is actually very similar to banking core system, because electronic money institution was so-called a specialized bank before the new law was accepted in 2011. So we do the most functions which is you can face becoming the customer of any bank. And the foundation of our IT core system is electronic money accounting system, on which is built all the other functionalities, P2P lending, payment initiation service, for example, and many of other functionalities. So far we invested more than 1 million euros into IT system. And I also want to mention that we had elections of so-called Tech Company of a Year in 2016, and our company was elected as most technologically advanced company in Lithuania in 2016. It's actually the reason of it is our IT system, as I mentioned. We have many of integrations with different kind of registers to request data about borrowers. We have payment initiation service and then new PSD2 regulation. And for example, this service can substitute a bank link service. And for example, if you have an e-shop and want to trade online, now are you paying 1% of every transaction to the bank using bank link service? In our case, can you imagine, you can trade and use the similar product like bank link, but to pay for transaction about 5 euro cents. Let's look how we look today in terms of our numbers. So we have active more than 5,500 investors in our platform who are investing money into consumer loans. And we have more than 5,000 active borrowers and more than 6,000 of active loans. And as you see, the numbers are constantly growing. And if to compare the last quarter with the same quarter last year, our growth is still more than 60%, and we have issued last quarter almost 4 million euro of loans. The main revenue source of our business is a commission. We take commission from borrower on the monthly installment basis. It means that every month when borrower pays monthly installment, we spread the amount to investors on pro rata principle, and we take some small commission for our platform. So actually our revenue should be much more, but as you see, we have the huge amount of future revenue which is not reflected in our balance sheets. Talking about our market in Lithuania, so we are still operating in Lithuania at the moment if we talk about borrower side, but still the market is huge for that business in such a small country as Lithuania. As you see, we compete with bank, with balance sheet lenders, with other P2P platforms, and our aim in for 4 or 5 years is to get the market share of 10% of consumer credit market. So next year in 2019 we hope to issue loans at the amount of 21 million euros, which can lead to more than 2 million euros of revenue. As we use very simple calculation, we get 10% of revenue from the loans amount issued. So why I am here today, as you will not find Neo Finance in Nasdaq list, so we are planning to perform IPO in March next year, and we hope to raise up to 3 million euros from retail and I hope institutional investors. And after successful IPO, we are going to list our new shares emission in Nasdaq First North Vilnius. Of course, Latvian investors also can subscribe and trade the shares later. So actually it's almost all I wanted to tell you today.
Okay, please take a seat. Would you like some water?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we do have some questions. One of the questions which has come in, and interesting that you were referring earlier to the market share. I actually have a question on that as well. But how do you assess the competition in the P2P sphere in Lithuania and in the Baltics in general?
Looking at the Baltic countries, actually the situation it's very different in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. As Lithuania, we have 3 P2P platforms already operating, and we are the biggest one. In Estonia, we have also very quite huge platform Bondora. And in Latvia, this business model is not allowed at all. So in Lithuania, the business is allowed and regulated and supervised by Lithuanian Central Bank. In Latvia, it's not allowed, such kind of the business, and in Estonia, it's allowed, but it's not regulated.
Okay, so a little bit of everything. You've got some ambitious targets, which is good. You're talking about 2022 growing significantly from now. How do you see yourselves differentiating from other, let's say, competitors in the marketplace? What brings you that opportunity to be achievable in your view?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have 3 types of competitors. It's banks, balance sheet lenders or payday lenders, and other P2P platforms. So actually, as I mentioned, we refinance about 60% of our loans in our home market. And that means that the conditions to get the credit is amazing in such a business model. Because we do not take upfront fees, we have very fast and convenient way to get the credit. For example, if you want to take a credit, we can issue it in 2 minutes, for example. We have fully automated process, so actually our cost is lower than the banks, and we can offer the better opportunities to borrowers. Also, actually, we do not have cost of money, as banks also do have, because when you are investing as a individual persons, you are not considering that my cost of money is 1% and I'll get here 12, for example. So the main issues.
Mm-hmm. And just remind me, what are the sort of sizes of loans that you're providing on the platform today, and what you plan to perform in coming years?
The size of the loans is actually from 300 to 10,000 euros. For the credit rate A, it's possible to get till 15,000 euros. So it's unsecured consumer loans, and we are not going to increase the amount because actually it's quite big enough for today.
You're only focusing on the unsecured part.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Would there be any possibility of considering this sort of model where there would be some sort of collateral involved? I mean, for me, it would seem challenging, but I mean, considering you're quite innovative, would you rule that out as a possibility, or say that nothing is impossible?
Actually, we have a focus of consumer credits. Mm-hmm. We are professionals in this market, and we better, or rather we'll go to expand in other countries, okay. But only with consumer loans and secured consumer loans, and we're not going to issue another type of loans. Okay. Because we need to focus at the young and very fast-growing company.
Stick to what you're doing. Okay, and in terms of the IPO that you're planning in March 2019, you're looking to raise around 3 million euros.
Up to,
okay. Where might you be applying those funds?
So, as I mentioned, we will target retail investors because the emission...
just to rephrase, where you'll get the money in. Where will you invest it?
Okay, so we have two possible scenarios. It's depending on the amount raised. And the main scenario is to go to one more foreign market. We consider it that it could be Latvia, but actually after new elections, the P2P law was not accepted in Saima. So we will look, and we are looking already for another market to establish our borrowing opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then I guess you'd have probably some setup costs. You can probably still use the same IT platform and things like that. And obviously, then I think you're spending some time on research and testing a new market as well. So that's where.
Yeah, that's a good point because actually, as I showed in presentation, we spent already more than 1 million euro just creating the IT platform, and now it's a very logical way just to leverage our platform into another market.
Mm-hmm. That brings me to the next question, which has also come in, which is, I mean, what are the reasons for actually going public? I mean, companies often say, well, you know, now I have to provide all this additional information, etc., etc. I mean, what are your main motivators for actually going public and becoming a publicly listed company?
Actually, we are a financial institution, and the trust, reputation, and transparency for us, it's the key factor. So the reason also we are going just to build with more trust with investors, and also to be more public. as well, because we need to spread our possibility, our business model to as many investors as possible. So, and of course, to raise some money is also the aim or target for us.
But that's something you had in mind already from the beginning, or just something that was like, oh, hang on, this might be a good idea later on?
Actually, we did presentation also with similar one, CEOMeetsInvestors, also last year in Nasdaq Vilnius. And actually, the idea was born 2 years ago already, so it's not very new decision made. Just we look and we see it's a logical step by step, and also Nasdaq First North market is built, I think so, for just growing and innovative business models. So why not to use this possibility for us?
And just to reflect back, I think, and once again, stating this because of the reason you said that you are different from most P2P, let's say, players. So if I have, let's say, 1,000 euros right now as a potential investor to lend, can you just very quickly walk through the key steps, how that money would be put to work? So I have 1,000 euros to invest. It's sitting not in my wallet, but in my bank account. How would the process work, and when do I get the money back?
Okay. At first, you need to register on our platform. Just to go to neofinance.com. We'll do the remote identification for you in innovative way. Yeah. So you'll pass KYC process, and we'll create the IBAN account for you, like in any bank. After, you need to deposit the money, and we use this innovative way called payment initiation service. And you'll get money in 1 minute, no matter what a time is and what is a day of a week is today. So after 1 minute, you can start investing using two ways, manual way or automatic way. Manual way is when you're going and through the list of the loans, and you get inside and choose and cherry pick the loan you like.
You filter. What?
You just go inside. You see the list of the loans. You pick the loan, and you just enter the amount you want to invest into one specific loan.
Okay.
Or you can choose the automated way. Just to create the auto investment. It means that you set up the criteria into which loan and into what risk of loan you want to invest. For example, choosing the age of the borrower, choosing the amount of a loan, and choosing many criteria, and you save your auto investment, and your money invests automatically into the loans. And it's also important that not we as a platform invest your money. You are investing your money yourself into specific loans in two ways, manual or automatic way.
And then by assuming that the loan is serviced correctly, then the amount comes back into the same account or the IBAN that you've set up at the end of the period.
It comes every month on a monthly installment basis. So every month you get back your part of a loan depending on the period of the loan. If it's, for example, the average loan is 48 months.
Yes.
So you will get the small payments by annuity schedule every month.
Okay. So it's something more or less predictable.
Yes, but if you want to cash out, we have also a secondary market implemented into our system. So anytime you can sell your loan parts in secondary market.
Sounds like two secondary markets, not only for the loans, but then potentially for the parts in the actual enterprise as well. Great. We wish you the best of success.